By the way, I was setting up a Stitcher during my class today, and I had to stop because I was like, wait, I'm in class. So,
damn.
We're putting stuff on Stitcher this week.
What, really?
Yeah.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, give me 6.5 days. So I'm sure it'll be by next month. I'm kidding.
All right, so we have a little bit of a sticky situation here.
A stitchy situation.
God,
damn it! Oh, a sticky situation. You're talking about news.
Yeah.
All right, so we had something very big happen over the weekend.
But not that big.
Not that big. I mean,
get it?
Not we're talking about Paige.
Do you get it?
I'm sure you've heard of it if you're a wrestling fan, but we have to talk about this and the implications of it. At least that's what I feel like talking about is the implications of it.
Yeah.
At least former WWE women's superstar Paige.
She's still on the roster.
She's still on the roster.
She hasn't
been here in a year.
She's injured.
Yeah. Sure.
She also had 2 wellness policy violations in a row last year around the same time as Roman.
Yeah, and WWE is making a movie with her with The Rock, which, god damn it, if it doesn't get canceled, I'll be very surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Paige has a lot of nudes out on the internet of her now, and a sex tape.
A lot of sex tapes.
A lot of sex tapes?
I think there's 4 or 5.
I've only seen one. One of them involves Xavier Woods and Brad Maddox, former superstar, and obviously Xavier Woods. Much bigger deal than anybody than Paige, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Xavier Woods of New Day, the person that a lot of kids look up to. A lot of kids watch his YouTube channel. Guy with 1 million subscribers now. Big deal, big influence. Someone I personally really entertained by and enjoy. I've even met him. Like, great guy. Is in a sex tape. And I don't know what to think about it.
I don't really care because people have sex. Big deal.
The stuff released of Paige is a lot worse than what's been released of Xavier. Xavier Woods could make the argument that that's not him because that's how little...
he can't. It looks exactly like him.
Do you see his face straight up?
I mean, you can piece it together. He had that exact same hairstyle before.
Okay,
and once
but I'm saying if you're him...
you're
him... With what has been released so far, you could probably be like, "That's just any black guy." That's
No, you literally can't. It looks exactly like him. I'm not kidding. Go up and look at what he looked like back then. He looked like once you see the hairstyle, everything comes together. I trust me.
All right.
Also, it's pretty much. Also, it's like 100% confirmed that it's him anyway. So.
It's okay. I don't have a problem with people having sex. Obviously, I have a problem with. I guess it getting released online because there's a lot of bad things that can happen when that happens. I mean,
it's not her fault though. She got hacked. So
I disagree to an extent.
She did get hacked. That's exactly.
You got to protect your stuff. You got to protect your stuff. Before I get into this argument that we're about to have, there was pictures of her with the WWE NXT women's title. With her covering her body so you don't see her boobs, I believe. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen a ton of this because I don't care about it. Like, whenever this stuff happens, I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, I don't care. I have seen Paige's body. I've only seen snippets of the sex tape from what you've shown me.
We were in the same room.
Because I don't care that much. But I care about the implications of this. If WWE is looking at this and they see, oh, that's our title. And they nude photos and pornography is being created with our title, that is fucked.
Yeah. That's not even the worst.
Fucked. That is not her property. That is something she is given. That is something, a kayfabe she earns. But that is something she is given by the company. Mm-hmm. And there are certain things that she should not be doing with that fucking title. Mm-hmm. And I have a huge problem with that.
Oh, yeah. That's not even the worst thing that happened. Brad Maddox blew a load on it.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Like, his semen was on it?
Yes.
That I have a ton of problems with that.
Yes. You see, though, then they get into this PR nightmare because theoretically, her privacy was invaded. Or not theoretically, that's literally what happened. Her privacy was invaded. And if I have a
problem with her privacy being invaded. I do have a problem with that. Yeah, like, their invasion of privacy is a problem.
But if this illegal thing that this person did that leaked these things didn't happen, they wouldn't know that Brad Maddox splooge has been all over that title belt. So you get into this.
It's an ignorance is bliss situation, definitely. But we do know it now.
Yeah, and that's the problem, though.
It's like 3 or 4 years old, right?
Yeah, but can you really fire her? I mean, you could punish her, obviously, but could you really fire her, put her out of a job? Because, especially after like all the turmoil, she has to be in terrible shape right now. Like, I couldn't imagine anything like this happen. You know, like, this is probably one of the worst things that has ever happened to her. And could you really imagine them firing her for her doing this? Like, it's just confusing to me because it is illegal. Like, her privacy was invaded. And if WWE fires her, it's basically saying, like, thank you, hacker. Since you did this, we know that this happened. So, thanks.
See, I understand that argument. But there are certain professions, any profession almost, but there are certain professions, especially when you're a performer in a PG product, where there are implications and there are consequences for your actions if you do something that is outside the PG realm and it goes public. When Pee Wee Herman masturbates in a theater and it goes public and live to everybody, there are people who are going to be pissed because their children watch this show and they like his movie and they're like, oh, why is Pee Wee Herman playing with his pee-pee in public? Why is he going in the like, what's happening, Mom? And then you have parents who are having to tell their kids about things way earlier than they should ever know. It's like my dad told me a story about how whenever the stuff with Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky happened, my brother was like, Dad, what's a blowjob? Like, that shit is bad.
Yeah,
like, I hate that. Kid, no, there is a certain amount of things that should not go public when you are a certain figure. Bill Clinton should not be letting things go public like that because he's the fucking president. I know it's a lot bigger of an example, but Paige has tons of children who love her. And she hasn't been on TV in a while, but there could be a kid who goes, oh man, what's the news with Paige? When's she coming back? Just Google's Paige because kids have smartphones, kids have the internet, and they see a fucking sex tape and they see all this stuff. You could say this was unavoidable. I think it's avoidable. I think if you want to film this stuff, you don't spread it. You don't back it up. You don't save it. You want to show people, show them on the whatever you filmed it on, and don't upload it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, she didn't upload it. I don't think she uploaded it anywhere.
I would find that hard to believe. Tom and I were talking about it, and he said that there's no way they could have gotten it unless it was connected to something that was connected to the internet.
Was she part of like this whole like leak thing? Because I know like a whole bunch of female celebrities got hacked through like the iCloud this week. Was she part of that? I imagine.
I don't know, but
I think it was filmed on an iPhone. So
the fappening happened like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And, maybe those first responders of the fappening, like all those celebrities, you maybe give them benefit without doubt because something like that hadn't really happened. But at this point, you're famous and you go, no, I have to be safe with these things because, if I was a parent and I have to tell my kid that someone they look up to is like having sex and like, Mom, what's sex? And why is Paige doing this? Oh, should I be doing tell me about sex, Mom? Like, these are role models. And Paige isn't, she was a tweener, I guess. She was definitely a face when she debuted. You have kids who like her and this happens. And I think that is totally wrong.
I mean, Lana,
you can say she's a person, but
yeah.
If I have a profession and, I promise you, if in 10 years I have a job and a sex tape gets leaked to me, there would be no difference. I'd be fired if my job found something of me like that, as they'd be like, oh, that's terrible. Like, and why does she get to be any different? Like, because she's a wrestler and she's famous? I don't know.
Well, what about like Seth
especially
Rollins?
with the WWE's? I have a problem with the Seth Rollins stuff too. It's maybe a little bit worse because you don't see Seth's face in it. I mean, a little bit better.
You clearly know it's him, though. You can see half of his face.
Can you see half his face? I remember just being able to see his body, and you're like, okay.
You can see it. You know it's him.
All right. Send me that picture because I have to remember.
Damn it! Why are you making me?
No. Some of that fiction. I'm kidding, but I'll agree with you on that one. It is a little bit weird, especially he wasn't holding the fucking championship. He wasn't holding the belt with his dick out. Like I think there should be repercussions for stuff like this.
Yeah,
even for someone like Xavier Woods. I don't know. No. He could argue though that that's not him. No, I don't think he should be punished. Him necessarily because he's just in one tidbit. But when a massive leak like this happens, I don't know. There are repercussions for actions, and I don't think you just get to be scot free because, it was leaked out of you. I don't know. It was a crime what happened to them, and I am apologetic towards them, but they need to know that if they're going to do this stuff, that they have to be careful because once it's out there, they have a different image, and her career, at least in my eyes, is over. If she comes back to WB, I won't give a shit about her because I think she's pretty terrible.
Yeah,
the fact that she would let another man, put semen and finish on their belt is a disgrace.
Yeah. But, I don't know. I don't think WWE can do a right thing in regards to, the title belt situation. Because it's just, you could fire her, and it makes them look like they don't care that she's going through a rough time. I say, you know what? We had this talk before. I don't think that she's going to come back. I still don't.
Oh, now I'm completely agreeing with you. She's not.
No, even before then, I didn't think she's going to come back. Just wait it out. She'll leave eventually. Oh
yeah, she has.
She's not. Future. She wasn't coming back before these leaks, and I don't think she's come back now. So if I was WWE, I'd keep her around and wait.
Just you don't have to mention her.
If Alberto Del Rio, they're already not mentioning her. If Alberto Del Rio,
I know,
is in TNA, she's not far behind.
Yeah. She's done for. I used to like her, and then eventually someone's character seeps through, and you just kind of figure things out. The first thing I realized is I really like the band A Day to Remember, and I was like, oh, Paige is dating one of the the guitarist from A Day to Remember. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And then I find out, they broke up, and she's dating Alberto Del Rio, the literal next day, and I'm like, it's a little shady. Paige, what happened? Mm-hmm. And then you just see her in all these stories of Alberto Del Rio, and slowly her character seeps in. Do I think Xavier Woods is a good guy? Obviously, he's done so much for charity. He's done so much for kids. Paige has had a little bit less proven about her character other than this stuff. I'd say Xavier Woods has obviously shown his bright and true colors through who he is. Unless we see, something crazy, because obviously you never really know somebody because there's who they show they are and then there's who they really are. And I think Xavier Woods is one of those guys who he is, who he shows he is.
Yeah. It's just...
There's no right answer. I'm not right, you're not right.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a hazy but fun to talk about situation.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't agree that they have to have a certain role to be there because Mickie James, Lana, and Maurice, you can literally search their name on Google and find nude-ass pictures of them. Straight up. You can find anything of them.
Yeah, I don't know that because I haven't. I didn't even know that till you told me that.
I just knew it. I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know that stuff.
There's a lot. They've had a lot of these divas were models, stuff like that beforehand. So I'm not upset about that. But yeah, the NXT title, getting splooge all over that.
That's not. And there's other women. You have to think about the other women who have held it afterwards. How do you think they feel now? How do you think Asuka feels that? This title I'm holding.
Yeah, I saw a picture of Asuka. She's all angry, and it's after William Regal showed her the picture, and she's
funny, but at the same time, that shit's not funny. That.
Yeah. Oh, you want to hear something? You want to see something that's not funny? There was a picture of Paige with a little kid, and she lets the little kid hold it, and his hand is right on the plate, and it zooms in on his hand.
This is
on
a
the
real
plate.
picture. Like this actually happened.
Yeah, and it zooms in on his hand on the title plate, and it zooms right in on Paige's face, and it's like, oh god.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is a very bad situation.
Yeah, like this is not good. But you know what? We're gonna see how it happens. I don't think any action will be taken ultimately.
Yeah,
because it would be a PR. Again, it already is pretty much a PR nightmare, but like it would be an extreme PR nightmare if while it's known that Paige is going through depression right now and that her parents are like complaining everywhere that like she might kill, like she's talking about like killing herself, and they're trying to like watch over her in her like mental state over this time. That would be horrible if they fired her. That would make it look terrible.
I don't know. As a business, they can't be worrying about the emotional repercussions of how someone's going to react. They need to worry about themselves first, because business is like that. If WWE will look worse because of this, they need. If a
sponsor says something about it, then they'll do something about it. But as of right now, I don't think any sponsor has, because we know nothing that has happened.
Yeah, I suppose.
So
like, I don't know. When Hulk Hogan is in a sex tape and he says the terrible things he says, WWE made, a controversial decision, but probably the right decision, because people are going to be like, whoa, WWE didn't do anything about this? Like, well,
they didn't care.
They made a business decision.
They knew of the sex tape. They didn't care. It was him saying the N-word.
But because that's because more was released, correct?
It wasn't released so much. It was shown in the courtroom. And it was talked about.
But when something like that becomes so nationally, like, people are aware of it at that point, and people were to go, oh, WWE's not doing anything about it, I lost respect for that company. Like, they need to make the business decision. Business needs to do business. So they could definitely make a wrong decision here, but whatever they do will be in their best interest.
As long as Xavier Woods is still around, I'm happy.
As long as Xavier is okay, because Xavier is one of my favorite people in the company.